Good afternoon and welcome to Ogun State Television News at 2. I am Adebola Oshomuji. In continuation of the distribution of palliatives to victims of the herder-farmer conflict that occurred recently in Ogun State, the state government has begun another round of distribution of food items to Fulani communities in Olodo, Rounda, and Sabo areas of the state. The chairman, subcommittee of provision of palliatives and Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Olaolu Olabinton, who said that the distribution of the palliatives was in continuation of the exercise which took the team to Yewa North local government recently, added that the idea was meant to give the affected people succor. Olabinton, while saying that the committee will look into the immediate and remote causes of the crisis, disclosed that the cost of damaged property during the conflict, as well as the appropriate compensation for those that lost their property during the conflict, would also be looked into. He added that the committee would look at measures that will help to forestall the reoccurrence of such conflicts in the future.
Okay. So, like it has been stated, the committee is going to work on the immediate and the root causes of what has happened. We are going to work on the cost and the valuation, and then we will begin to talk about damages and compensation. Of course, we will also be talking about how we will ensure that this kind of thing will never again happen in our midst. We have spoken to their leaders and they are quite appreciative.
The Special Assistant to the Governor on Inter-Ethnic Affairs, Hadi Sani, while appreciating the Governor for his prompt intervention, urged the people to be law-abiding citizens and also imbibe the spirit of patience and unity.
How to resolve this issue? His Excellency President Kwabedu promised to cater for the victims, because while we had the crisis, many people are displaced from the host community and from the Fulani community. And we thank His Excellency for coming to aid all both the host community and Fulani community by providing food palliatives for them to eat, because they are all displaced for now.
Chairman, Fulani Youth Southwest and member of the committee recently set up by the state government to look into the root causes of the crisis between farmers and herders in the state, Momoni Ibrahim, while thanking the state governor for fulfilling his promise of providing palliatives to the affected people, assured that he would ensure the palliatives get to the beneficiaries. It would be recalled that the state government some days ago handed over some palliatives to victims of the herder-farmer conflict in the Yewa North local government area of the state. The distribution today makes it the second of many more to come. 3 members of the Ogun State House of Assembly elected on the platform of the African ADC have defected to the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress, APC. They are Minority Whip, Honorable Jemili Akingbade, representing Imeko Afon, Honorable Adegoke Adeyanju, representing Yewa North 1 State Constituency, and Honorable Haruna Wahab, representing Yewa North 2 State Constituency. Spouse congratulated them, saying that defection will strengthen them more. Recently, 7 members of the Allied People's Movement, APM, also defected to AP 25 members in Ogun State House of Assembly with this development, while PDP has 1. The Senate on Tuesday confirmed the appointment of former service chiefs as non-career ambassador designate. The confirmation followed the consideration of the report of the State Committee on Foreign Affairs. Senator Muhammad Bulakachura, President Hamad Lawan, had on February 16 directed the Committee on Foreign Affairs to confirm General Abayomi Olanishakin retired, Lute Basse retired, Cross River, Air Marshal Muhammad S. Usman retired, Kano, as non-career ambassadors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, an attempt by the minority leader Senator Enyimaya Abaribe, to draw the attention of his colleagues to a petition against their confirmation was stopped by the President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan. Abaribe had asked Lukachura to explain why the petition against them was dismissed. By Lawan, said the petition lacks merit. Quality education, which is one of the mandates of the present administration in Ogun State, will continue to be given necessary adequate attention. Stakeholders in the state education sector reaffirmed this while visiting community primary school Ilukpeju Ojaodon in Yewa North local government area following the recent report by media on the deplorable learning condition of the school. Elizabeth Esson reports.
Deplorable learning condition of pupils of the community primary school Ilukpeju Ojaodon, who since 2015 have been learning under a bamboo shed. Following this unfavorable situation, Governor Dakwa Abiodun mandated stakeholders in the state's education sector to address the situation accordingly and quickly too. Chairman, Ogun State Universal Basic Education, Dr. Femi Majekodumi, confirmed the stand of the state government concerning the school and other schools that fall in this category across the state.
Greatly. Can you imagine? 900 projects at a go. It shows the extent of terrible situation with our educational institutions before the advent of this very government. You know, you can't have it better anywhere in this country. 900 projects for a government to come in, you know, it's a reflection of how bad the situation was, and that's what it's doing. And the fire brigade approach we deliberately put in is to assure the community, the good people of Ogun State, that Dr. Abiodun's government means well.
Special advisor to the governor on primary and secondary education, Mrs. Ronke Shoyombo, confirmed numbers of schools earmarked by the state government for intervention in lower axis of the state.
Government, we have met quite a lot of schools in that condition. And since we came, you will see that governor has been doing a lot. I mean, for a governor to have actually done over 900 schools for renovation and construction of schools, it speaks volume. So what I just want to say at this stage is because we've earmarked every school in different stages. So quite a lot of schools that were yet to touch will be coming under the second group. So under the second intervention. So people can only be very much at peace with us.
On his part, Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, has this to say on the media reports.
What happened, everybody can see that it is not the fault of this administration. But notwithstanding, we have taken the bull by the horn, and I want to assure all and sundry that this administration meant what it actually said by declaring emergency in the education sector. It's going to be total rejuvenation, total revitalization of the education sector. I want to assure all those who have viewed that never again will they have such things. I mean, even if we have such that has been in place, as we are addressing it, within the next few months, they will see that we will not have that type of situation at all.
Some of the schools in Yowa Axis presently enjoying the state government intervention projects were visited, as well as those that will be included in the next batch to be attended to. Elizabeth Esson, OGTV News.
Ogun State government says it has increased the payment of monthly allocations from 17 million naira to 39 million naira, as well as tightened security around schools, so as to enhance its smooth running and tackle security challenges. The Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, who dropped this hint during the 56th Founders' Day anniversary of Remo Divisional High School, submitted that the development is to ensure that there was no hindrance for any student willing to go to school. Professor Arigbabu, while explaining that the ministry, due to the directive of the governor, has been working with principals to ensure that adequate security is provided in schools, added that government would not wait until there is security crisis before taking action.
The administration
background, irrespective of their socio-economic background. The free education policy requires making facilities available. That was what led to the provision of running costs to heads of schools. Principals and schools, at least after so many years, can now say that we have running costs we need to do. And I can tell you today, just on Friday, His Excellency approved the increase in the running cost, which moved from 17 million to 39 million. That is what we are.
In another development, the Commissioner, while appreciating the level of preparedness by Remo Secondary School to host Ionian Games 2021, said that the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration has approved 5.5 million naira to support the school in ensuring a successful hosting. Professor Arigabu, who said this during a monitoring exercise to Remo High School and School for Children with Special Needs, Shagamu, proceeded that the present administration is optimistic about caring for children living with disabilities. As the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic bites harder, the Ogun State government has begun the enforcement of use of face masks by both civil and public servants at the state secretariat in Abeokuta. It was not business as usual, as those who were not with nose mask were apprehended. Bumi Adigun was at the governor's office Okemoson Abeokuta to capture the moment and report that those apprehended were made to carry out hours of community service. His report.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in its latest update recorded 521 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 152,074. Out of this latest figure, Ogun State has 52. And to avoid this daily count increasing, Ogun State government has embarked on enforcement of use of nose mask, starting with civil and public servants. Before 7 in the morning, the special COVID-19 task force was on guard to ensure everyone is protected, but as usual, many did not use nose mask. Some used it halfway, while some were even confrontational with the task force. Head of service in Ogun State, Elijah Selma Totu, was also on the ground.
We are trying to enforce the compliance to COVID-19 because we realize that most of the people are not using the face masks and they are not compliant. And we intend to reduce this pandemic in our states. We don't want our people to die, and we want to encourage them that it's safer if they put on the face mask. And we say charity begins at home. That's why we are starting from the public service, so that we ensure that all our civil servants are safe and we are COVID compliant.
Apart from the use of nose mask, cars were not allowed to have more than 2 people at the back and 1 in the front. But unfortunately, as many of them passed the task force, they removed the nose mask. For those apprehended, a mobile court was stationed to prosecute them and sentenced to 2 hours community service. As the enforcement was ongoing, a lady was making a brisk business selling nose masks. The task force will be visiting markets, schools, and every other place in Abeokuta to ensure all COVID-19 protocols have been observed. It is now an offense in Ogun State to walk or walk within its corridors without using a nose mask. Umiadiku, OGTV News.
Towards sustaining mutual relationship between their institutions, the management of the Ogun State Television has visited the State Hospital, Ijayi, Abeokuta. The team was led by the General Manager, Mr. Festus Kehinde Bomi Adegun reports.
Located at Ijayi in Abeokuta, is one of the oldest hospitals in the state that has been rendering humanitarian services to the people through quality health service. In order to foster synergy between them, the management team of the Ogun State Television, led by Mr. Festus Kehinde, visited the state hospital Ijayi Abeokuta to see what they can both enjoy from a new relationship.
We look at the state hospital and we believe we have not been able to have your own share of the publicity that you deserve. I know you might have been apprehensive of coming because of our rate, but we thought that ODTV should also be socially responsible. And to be socially responsible means we should be able to meet the need of this state hospital when it comes to publicity.
Apart from sustaining a relationship and moving it higher, the two organizations promised to assist each other in the area of needs.
Oftentimes, ABTV will require the service of some of these consultants to educate, enlighten our populace. I think the best treatment we can give to any disease is to prevent it. From a layman point of view, we believe prevention is better than cure. And how do you prevent? Through education, through enlightenment.
The medical director of Ogun State Hospital appreciated the initiative of the management of the Ogun State Television.
I can tell you the Ogun State government in the past 2 or 3 months have employed about 5 consultants for us. And that is really good. And I know the government is also in the process of employing middle cadre doctors that can work with the consultants. That one is ongoing. So I can assure you things are getting better and it will continue to get better. And we need to collaborate with an agency like yours for the people to really know that things have changed.
This is one of
the number of medical and dental practitioners in Nigeria has increased with the induction of 63 recently qualified students of Babcock University.
And then unleash them into the medical practice.
Do sincerely and solemnly declare that as a national medical practitioner of Nigeria.
That is the 5th set of qualified medical students from the Carson Senior College of Health and Medical.
You will save money out to use not to fight this, to fight that, to do this. You are jobless. You cover 500,000 naira first. That does not mean that you let up the hook. And people are looking for means of survival. And it's like they see medical as an easy way for them of through which they can make their money.
While addressing the 63 graduates, the medical elder to the institution, Professor Okoro, said they should not allow gender, nationality, political affiliation or any other factor affect the autonomy and dignity of their patients. The Vice Chancellor, Babcock University, Professor Ademola Tayo, said this is by far the highest number of qualified medical students to be inducted in the history of the institution, adding that the inductees should also avail themselves with the latest technological innovation for better improvement in their profession.
It is the oath that defines your professional career. It requires you to put the needs of the patients and of the public over your own. It is also the oath of responsibility to your professional or specialized body of knowledge that you will master, improve upon, and pass to the next generation.
The inductees and their parents were extremely excited as they appreciated God for making the day a reality.
Today is monumental because I believe every member of the graduating medical doctor has been prepared for such a time as this.
We have seen over the years stability of academic calendar, no disruption over the years. We are seeing quality of teaching delivery.
According to the management, the institution will continue to strive more to improve on facilities and provide enabling environment for training of medical students. Yusuf Ganiyu, OGTV News.
Mixed reactions continue to grace the recent adjustment of pump price of petroleum motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, by filling stations in Nigeria. while marketers of the product say the demand and supply dynamics have been affecting the price. Other Nigerians are lamenting the economic hardship this has caused them and what a possible future price hike will cost the economy. In this report. Over 80% of federal government revenue comes from crude oil, with money from this sector helping government address its growing budget deficit. However, the challenges posed to the economy by this sector still remain overwhelming. Though Nigerians have been adapting to these challenges, they often blame the federal government for this.
And what we have to import at international market price, coupled with the fact that it has to be masked against a dwindling naira that's losing value. Definitely we should expect a hike.
That price is not convenient for our people. It's too much. Even now, to buy anything, whether food or anything, is too high.
So it's not convenient for us. So we need to plead to them that should help us to reduce this price. We beg them.
When we import refined product, we are exporting jobs. Because if you have refinery, and you in a full-fledged refinery, you can have 30,000 people working there. Different product, byproduct from refinery. So, but we are not doing this. So we are exporting jobs, and that is why our youth are unemployed.
Despite claiming otherwise, the federal government's position on subsidy removal and its stronghold on price control in the downstream sector are said to be creating more problems for marketers who deal with petroleum products investment.
That is why we have this situation we are having. But when your supplier increase the price, depending on whatever reasons they are giving, to us, they have not given tangible reason. Aside from the fact that they are expecting NNPC to announce an increment.
We are supposed to reap some benefits. They keep promising us that we will reap the benefits of all these deregulation and the rest, but we are yet to see the effect. That is, we are yet to see the positive effect because we are seeing.
Already, filling stations across the state have started upward adjustment of pump price. President Joe Biden has addressed the nation as the U.S. passed the figure of 500,000 COVID-19 related deaths, the highest number of any country. The president and vice president and their spouses then observed a moment of silence outside the White House during a candle lighting ceremony. Confirmed U.S. infections now stand at 28.1 million, also a global record. The president ordered all flags on federal property to be lowered to the half-mast for the next 5 days. At the White House, he opened his speech by noting that the number of American dead from COVID-19 was higher from World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War combined. Mr. Biden's approach to the pandemic is different to his predecessor, Donald Trump, who cast doubt on the impact of the deadly virus and was viewed as having politicized and wearing a face mask, and it's at our fingertips if we allow it to be. You can now watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch us live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And now we have come to the end of the news at 2. Bye for now.